Hello, and welcome to episode 513 of Prog Review. And today it's Return to Ommadawn by Mike Oldfield. It's one of those reviews. I don't want to do it because you're going to have a go at me. You're going to go, "You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about." Thumbs down. It's one of those. It's one of those ones, I'm afraid. So, if you love this album, then don't watch anymore. This review's not for you. And before I start, I must declare an interest. In the interest of fairness and unbiased reviewing, I must explain something that happened the other day. Last week, I was a member of the private Mike Oldfield Facebook group pages. And somebody had posted a link to the Daily Express review of the album, and everyone was getting a bit uppity. And I said, well, it seemed like a fair review. The reviewer had, taken things into account and reviewed it well. And I suggested everyone, should grow a skin, not let it get to them. And I got kicked out of both personal groups, and those groups are moderated by, as far as I know, Mike Oldfield himself. So let that just go on the record. Let it go on the record. And then now you can say, well, look, you're just being mean, getting back to Mike Oldfield. But I'm not. I'm just declaring what the state of the world is. We're living in multiple echo chambers where if you have an opinion contrary to popular belief, you're castigated and cast out. And I just wanted that to go on record. So anyway, this is Oldfield's 26th studio album. 26th. Now, before we start, we all know that there's only one Ommadawn 2, and it's this one. Oldfield said so himself. It features all the original players from Ommadawn. They're all on here. This is Ommadawn 2, by any other name. And look, even the cover mimics the original, and it's one of the last great albums Oldfield did. So anyway, this was made by committee because he asked his Facebook fans what they wanted, and they said, "Return to Ommadawn," and so he delivered. And we have this pseudo Skyrim album cover, which I really don't get. It really doesn't fit the music to me, but I'm sure many of you love it because that's what you do, isn't it? So immediately I didn't like the cover. I listened to this. Now this is interesting because it's one of the few instances where I think the surround sound version is actually quite inferior to the stereo mix. The surround sound version for me is very hard, very in your face, especially the plucking of the nylon guitar. There's a lot of nylon guitar in this, again, to mimic the original Ommadawn. There's lots of, and it feels really in your face. It's almost like, to me, fingernails down a blackboard. And so, when I listen to the stereo version, I've done them all, and I've listened to it multiple times, at least 7 times. My last listen was the early hours of this morning in bed on headphones. So there we go. I want that to go down on record for all you arseholes that go, "You haven't listened to it enough." Trust me, I have. So yeah, the surround sound version, I found it a bit, some of it worked, but the nylon guitar just really, really kind of irritated me. But yeah, it's more of the same. It's Oldfield going back to his roots, and that's it really. So it's an all right album. But it's not the brilliant work that many of you are claiming. It's not, it's just Oldfield doing. He's almost copying himself. Thing is I don't hear any musical DNA in this being shared with the original. Yeah, you get the African drums and you get the odd kind of semi-hint that, but I just don't feel that they're connected at all. I don't feel connected musically. It doesn't help that he's done this all on his own. This is him all on his own. He's produced it on his own. There's no Tom Newman. There's no Claude R. Simmons. There's no Bridget St. John. There's no Paddy Maloney. There's no Jabula, the African drummers. So you don't have that link like this one has. You don't have that link. The most irritating thing is he does actually sample the vocals from Ommadawn and play them backwards and forwards and kind of mush them up into this incomprehensible sound collage, which really, really annoyed me. It really annoyed me beyond belief. Again, it's shapeless, it's formless. There's no tension to it. It just, yeah, there's some nice melodies, there's some nice playing, but it for me it just doesn't hold together. You know, there's no sense of momentum. It's just things that happen in front of your ears, and that's a shame. I think he needs somebody there, you know, in the production hot seat to go, no, do this, do that. And this is what we see with a lot of artists, and I'm looking at you, Peter Gabriel, is they become a bit self-indulgent when they're allowed to play with all their toys on their own. Let's get with this album. It's pleasant. It is pleasant, but I don't think it's a great work. I think it's okay, you know. I mean, yeah, his last great work was like Amarok and possibly Tubular Bells too. I mean, I've got a lot of time for that one. I know some people don't like it, but at least as a sequel it works. Again, talking of sequels, I did Jean-Michel Jarre the other day, and that works, you know. You get the feeling that he's honouring the original, whereas here I don't think it's done out of honour. Again, bringing in a recent interview, Oldfield himself says he's running out of money. He's run out of money. He's had to sell his yacht and downsize to a much smaller boat. And so you will hear Tubular Bells 4. And when music and art is made to order, it's automatically, well, it's not worth anything, is it really? Because he should be making the music he wants to make, not the music you want to make, him to make. You know, that's the difference, and that's what I have. But even if you cast all that aside, you know, it's a little bit weak, just in my opinion. I know there'll be many people out there that love it because it is a kind of a return to form. I did have an opening line, you know. My opening line was going to be, is it return to Ommadawn or a return to form? But I thought it was too partridge, so I left it out, you see. But I've done it now. Oh, God, I've done it. But yeah, I mean, I can see why people rave over it. I see why the fans do it. It's this fan service. It is the Force Awakens and Rogue One of albums. There you go. He might as well sell himself to Disney and be done with it. In terms of a rating, I'm gonna be like the Daily Express. I'm gonna give it 2 Ommedawns out of 5. That's 2 Ommedawns out of 5. You know, and I think, you know, part of me thinks there's a good album in here. I think he needs to throw it over to Rob Reid. That's what I thought of when I heard this. I was thinking of what Rob Reid was doing, you know, and how his albums troubled me, you know, because they felt like they were going somewhere, but they weren't. And this is the same. It feels like it's not really going anywhere. You know, it's like it's disappearing into those clouds there. It's that is the album. It's not that. There's no detail. It's all that. And there'll be a lot of people who are very, very pissed at me now because Mike Oldfield's wonderful. Everything he does is great. And this thing about him is he's very inconsistent. And you know, some albums are good and some albums are not so good. And this is not that it's not so good, it's just not as good as it could have been. I think it had great potential. I think with the right producer in the seat, with some extra people like Paddy Maloney, you know, he can play via the internet. He doesn't have to go to the Bahamas. They can just record his parts remotely. That's what people do now. I mean, he did it with Man on the Rocks, didn't he? And look how that turned out. Well, it wasn't a bad rock album, you know, for what it was. But yeah, it's a shame. I get the feeling it's a missed opportunity, but he'll make him some cash. Maybe he can buy a bigger boat now. I think we're going to need a bigger boat. And we just hold on for Tubular Bells 4, which will probably be out next year. And This is his pension, you see. This is what he's doing. This is his pension. This is Mike Oldfield's pension. That's the one. That's the album after Tubular Bells 4. Mike Oldfield's pension. So anyway, thank you for listening to me witter on. I don't know. What the fuck do I know? I'm a fucking idiot, aren't I? A fucking moron. I don't know anything about music. That's the thing. Everyone's opinion is as valid as the others. Your opinion is valid as valid as mine. That's the beauty of having opinions. See? That's the beauty of it. And I would not take away your enjoyment of this album for one bit. I'm just expressing my opinion. I wanted this to work. Why wouldn't I? This is the thing. But on that, this cloth-eared nincompoop is going to sidle off and do something else. And on that, it's been Mike Oldfield's return to Ommadawn. My name is Darren Knock. There's only one more thing to say, and that is prog on.